Hello, hello, it's the Den Boys, we're back again. Today we're doing a episode on a SNES game called Sword Maniac. 1993? Yeah, 1993, Sword Maniac.
Sword Maniac, yeah, on the Japanese Super Famicom, or Excalibur 2097 on the American SNES.
You Westerners will know it as Excalibur.
Sword Maniac sounds way cool.
It does sound cooler,
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I'm a maniac, I've got a sword. It's cool. So, a little bit about where we got it from. I actually saw this game on my last trip in Japan. I'd heard of Excalibur, but I don't think I ever knew much about it. But on this last trip to Japan, I was in a game store and caught one of their little loop reels that they have sometimes playing in store, and saw this and it caught my eye, and I thought, what is that game? I've got to find out about it. And yeah, sure enough, it was Sword Maniac. So we tracked down a copy. You got one recently, and we seshed it.
eBay about $30. Not astronomical.
No.
Look, a fair price for what you're getting.
Yeah. A little bit of history about the game. What do you know about it?
So yeah, apart from the two titles, the American title and the Japanese title, early 90s and very Japanese futuristic city setting. Guy in a bit of a trench coat, blonde spiky hair, sword, and he's sort of going through the city to rescue his girlfriend, take down the bad guys. And for me personally, when I found out that the soundtrack was co-produced by none other than Hitoshi Sakamoto, who's a Japanese god of soundtracks, having scored Radiant Silver Gun, Suki.
He went on to some big things. He's a legend.
He is a god, yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
So when you see his name attached to it, I didn't know that. And when I told you about the game, you said, "Dude, that's the soundtrack." It was an instant purchase.
Yeah. And this is some earlier work of his, and it doesn't disappoint.
No, it's good.
There's some varied music. In fact, the soundtrack might just be one of the best parts of the game.
Probably, and we'll get to that. Yeah. So, like you said, the gameplay is like an action platformer.
Yeah.
He's only got the sword, and he's got a slash move as well. So he's got sword attack. You've got a regular sword attack.
Yep.
You've got a sort of super slash.
Yep.
And then you've got this sort of what they call a power move, where he shoots a ray or a beam out of his sword, which supposedly is there to be a powerful attack.
But you're vulnerable afterwards. You kind of freeze in an odd position, and you're able to attack.
It's an odd attack. It's you sacrifice movement for throwing this power move.
But 9 out of 10 times the enemies block.
Well, they block it. They block it anyway. It just didn't make any sense. So, let's get to the stuff that we like about it. The stage design is really cool. Some of that, even that early stage with the reflection of the cityscope onto the lake, the Mode 7 scrolling on some of the later stages, the actual set.
It's got animated cutscenes between the levels.
Yeah, that was a really cool little feature.
Introducing the
bosses and the stages.
Some nice artwork, nice character design. Really no language barrier. It's an action sort of arcade.
Yeah, you don't need to know. It doesn't make any difference. The actual stages themselves are colourful, well designed. The actual different settings. It's obviously got that futuristic kind of metal kind of vibe about it. The soundtrack fits really well. There's so much to like on the surface of this game. You pick it up, you think, Sword Maniac, platforming action adventure game. I'm gonna love the hell out of this.
Then you get to the first
one. And then you start playing, and you just start to pick holes in it bit by bit, and it sort of slowly starts from here and just slowly starts to let you down and grind you down as you start to play.
The frustration creeps in. More with some of the mechanics and the structure, gameplay design. And those physics.
All right, let's pick through them. So what was some of the faults early on? For me, you're a sword. The game title is Sword Maniac. You are a sword player with this wicked sword. And they don't give you any power-ups.
The sword.
The 3 sword attacks is all you
have.
Not
a very big sword. It's thin, and it never powers up.
Never powers up. Like what?
And most of the enemies have guns. This guy's brought a sword to a gunfight.
He's in the wrong hood. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's a little bit confusing. I like some of those enemy attacks are actually blocked by swiping your sword at the bullets that are coming at you. So for me, it makes sense that why wouldn't you put a power up in there where, you know, you create some sort of shield that when you shoot it, it blocks bullets or sends them back at them, or
more range on the sword.
A range attack where you're shooting your own bullets out at these enemies to hit them before they hit you. So that was a little strange.
But the first biggest strange thing is that you get to the first boss.
Oh, the first boss.
And he blocks every single hit you put on it.
It's the most. We
like
sort of
100%. He just blocks every hit.
It's literally like bashing your head against a brick wall, trying to knock it down.
Yeah.
And the wall just is not moving. Like it's such a strange
The clock
mechanic.
will run down, and the boss fights are almost like Street Fighter style 1-on-1.
2D,
sort of
beat 'em up.
Yeah, you know, there was an opportunity there to sort of produce
Really strange.
some good gameplay. So you have to sort of hit them with your more powerful slash on a jump, you know, which connects occasionally. But yeah, walking up and hitting with your sword, they will block every single
Yeah, and for the honesty of this review, we found that there was a massive difference between the normal mode setting and the easy mode setting. Like some of those bosses where there was one later in the game where on normal mode I was spamming him with every single attack I had in my arsenal, fists up, blocked everything. I could have spent the entire 60-second countdown timer
and that
just
clock
hitting him
moves slowly.
Yeah, which is equivalent of like 3 minutes in game time. I could have hit him and I would have laid a single shot on him. Set it to easy, and suddenly some of those hits get through.
Yeah.
It's a mechanic that clearly they were trying to do on purpose.
Yeah,
but
their idea of difficulty was just blocking every single attack. You know?
Yeah, and some of the attacks
very
where
frustrating.
the only way you could hit them was to do a jump attack, but it's almost like the enemy wanted you to jump attack because they would pummel you with one of their
Give
attacks.
them the advantage to hit you.
So there wasn't even a chess kind of game going on. It was just, we want you to jump, you can't hit us with anything else.
It's
and
a
we'll hit you.
sword fighting game that has fairly frustrating sword fights.
Very, very frustrating.
The meat of the stages, you know,
Great.
was great.
Yeah, it works perfectly.
With exception, those rocket.
Oh,
man
there was some
sort of
hard
enemies,
platforming, but
you know, it was achievable.
doable.
Yeah.
Tough.
Health power ups. Well, there were not a lot of power ups, you know, from the hidden breakables. But yeah, cans of Coke.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, the cans of Coke and the burgers,
and then a big lump of meat on a bone. You know, maximum health.
Typical sort of beat 'em up pickups. But I guess another con for me, I don't want to say it's all cons, but there was a lot of cons. Was the actual, like we talked about, that power move. The amount of times that you throw the power move and it freezes your animation and it allows them to come and hit you while you're frozen in this animation of throwing your power move.
That they block or jump and then you take a hit.
It was a power move that had no power.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. Yeah, some of the levels designs later in the game looked beautiful, but wow, there was some sections there where if you got knocked down off a level, they just spawned enemies at you. And you'll see in the video, there's a section with these rocket guys flying at you, and if you got out of the loop of the stage, it just spawned rockets at you the entire time. It was very, you almost just
knock you down.
take a hit, die, start again. It was very frustrating.
The final boss was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Probably the best boss in the game because he didn't block every hit.
No, it was actually the first time you used your power hit, and it was like you needed it. It was like, this is what I've been waiting for.
But that was at the very end.
What was the cool little trivia about the last boss in Excalibur versus Sword Maniac?
In the Japanese version, you're standing on top of a pentagram on the floor, and in the American European version, that was cut out because of the occult references.
Japanese don't care.
That's
They're hardcore. They'll do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing we were talking about before, I didn't notice this. We were doing a little research on the game. Is that they actually removed the soundtrack?
Yes. Yeah. This is huge.
The American.
One of the
crazy.
best things about the game. Yeah. In America and Europe, the game has a completely different soundtrack, removing the legendary Sakamoto's work, that's a crime against
Boo
humanity.
you USA. It was just bizarre. Like they replaced it with some sort of, what was it? Some sort of dance band or techno band?
Yeah, soundtrack.
Which I guess would fit the setting of the game. But I mean, come on, like, why would you take your soundtrack out of it? It's crazy. So I guess that's our thoughts. Like, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, look, on the one hand we've
seshed it, we've clocked it.
Yeah, we've said a few negative things, but oddly, this game, there is still something cool about this game.
It's
And
very
whether
cool.
The soundtrack, or just being a dude with a sword, you know, in Neo, New York, I think you start
Yeah,
start
that's
off.
right. Yeah.
But you know, this could have been an exceptional game with better physics, better mechanics.
100%. Yeah.
But a lot of frustration. But I'm glad we played it. It's perhaps an acquired taste.
Yeah.
And if you like the work of Hitoshi Sakamoto, pick it up for that alone. But it has to be a Japanese copy.
Yeah. And so the thing that surprised me too with the things I liked, I mean, I would recommend you buy it. It's not an expensive game. It's definitely something you should have in your collection. I would almost suggest to people that swallow your pride, play it on easy, and enjoy the game. It's much more enjoyable on easy.
Yeah.
It's almost broken on normal level.
Yeah.
Especially the bosses.
From
We found
boss
that-
one.
Oh, absolutely. And you'll see what we're talking about when you play it. The stages become easier, but the bosses almost stay the same on easy. To a certain extent, they're a little bit easier, but at least they're doable. On normal, like I said, it's almost broken. Some of those boss battles, they just don't work.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit frustrating. But look, it's a thumbs up. I definitely recommend. It's not a rush out and
No.
have to have it. Definitely not an A+ game, but
But it's a game you may not have heard of, you know, and may not have played, and you know, I think it's worth experiencing.
Yeah,
But you know, be prepared for a little bit of frustration, and maybe
Take
take
it like
our advice and check it out.
yeah, definitely. All right, guys. So that was Sword Maniac. I was called Excalibur. Sword Maniac for the SNES. Recommend it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, we'll see you soon for another vid. Catch you guys.
Cheers.